So go up to Tennessee. They have like quarter comics.
We have quarter bins and methamphetamines. You do some meth, you can look for comics for a long time.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
For more than a century, comic books, television, and movies have existed. Each separate, broken, with their gatekeepers.
No!
Then, something happened that brought all media together. The internet brings comic fans around the world into one comic community. Put your hands together, comic fan. Comics are for everyone. It's 10 p.m. Eastern, live Comic Book Wednesday, a weekly YouTube show about comic books with Lady Fantastic. Comics on the Mind.
Get your hands up!
Miracleman. Special guest appearances by Ace. And your host, Not Near Mynd. Welcome to Not Near Mynd.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Near Mynd. It is the 99th episode. Holy crap, man. Next week, we're doing Fuck, Marry, Kill. Yeah, we don't need to whisper it around here because we're an 18 and over show. It's Fuck, Marry, Kill, y'all. And we're doing it next week. But tonight, we have special guest, Mr. David Avallone. So let's bring in everybody. Hey, everybody!
What up?
Hello.
So it's a new Comic Book Wednesday, and there's a new book that's going to be coming out soon called Elvira Meets Vincent Price. So tell us about it, David.
Elvira Meets Vincent Price. I've been writing Elvira for, I think, 3 years now at Dynamite, starting out with a 12-issue series called Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, very imaginatively titled. And then there was a 4-issue mini called The Shape of Elvira, which was a sort of Mad Magazine-style parody of The Shape of Water, starring Elvira, that asked the musical question, what if Del Toro, aside from making a movie, was also trying to create a human-amphibian hybrid while he was making his film? And probably had more references to the Muppet movie than the average comic book, so that's hard to say. And then late last year...
birthday, Captain.
What's that?
Oh, just our people that are watching, Captain. He's always wishing his happy birthday as some inside joke.
Towards the end of last year, we did something called Elvira the Omega Ma'am, which was a parody of our COVID plague year, in which Elvira wakes up after a brief coma caused by an overdose of hairspray to discover that Los Angeles is overrun by orange-skinned zombies who got that way because a certain important public figure convince them to ingest cleaning fluids, causing an
we remember
outbreak
that.
of zombieism. And the next up is Elvira meets Vincent Price, which is kind of exactly what it sounds like. Elvira meets Vincent Price. Obviously, takes place in the present day, so it's the ghost of Vincent Price. And the plot is based a little bit on a true story about a lost Vincent Price called Ares Computer, which was actually never made. But we posit that that film is actually the key to saving the world from being destroyed by ancient Egyptian gods.
As one does.
As one does, comic books.
Right.
Books.
Sounds amazing.
And, as Miracleman knows, I always like to have joke titles for, like, Crisis on Infinite Bettys for Betty Page Unbound. The joke title of that one is Raiders of the Lost Schlock.
Nice.
Yeah.
And of course, David brings up Betty Page Unbound. I have to show this off. We were talking about it right before the show, but I'm just going to throw these up there real quick, just so you guys can see the covers to that Betty Page Unbound title. And we should definitely show his new book, but have to show these off. And unfortunately, I don't have all of them. I got on the title late, and then my shop didn't have them ordered, or they sold out before I could get them, and I didn't put them on my. So I only got 4 issues out of the 10. But here's the title. Here's the cover. That just there you go. And just to let you know, this is fairly accurate to the story. You don't have a bunch of cosplaying Bettys floating through space, but it's the multiverse of Bettys, right?
It is the multiverse of Bettys. Yeah, that was the idea.
And it was fantastic. Of course, we have a gorgeous Dorothy Betty there. I think this issue actually opens up with Vampirella Betty.
Yeah, that's issue 2 is Vampirella Betty. Issue 3 is Deja Thoris Betty.
Yeah.
Issue 4 is Tinkerbell Betty or Tinker Betty.
Oh yeah.
Then there's an epilogue with Albert Einstein, because of course, who doesn't want to see Betty Page meet Albert Einstein?
Right.
And then there was a 5-issue arc called Invasion of the Betty Snatchers.
Yeah, honestly,
oh my gosh, I want to read it even more now.
That part that threw me off totally, because I missed, I think the issue 4 or 5, the epilogue issue, and I picked up issue 6, and I'm like, what's going on? This is not multiverse.
Get back to Earth.
Right.
Yeah, no, 4 and 5 were kind of vital.
Right.
for understanding the story. And I read number 4 is actually, I don't think I've ever enjoyed it writing a comic as much as I enjoyed issue 4 is the Tinker Betty issue, and it's Tinkerbell versus Cthulhu.
Oh.
And the story I was born to write, I think.
Right. That's fantastic. So, but I'll have to track those down, because I can't not have the rest of that story. I'm so sorry. Let's show David's current book or new book that everybody can order from their LCS right now. Well, it's not out yet, but Yeah,
it'll be. I think it'll hit the stands August 4th.
You got that there, Mr. Worst?
I do. So let's take a look at that. I'm bringing it up now.
Sorry, I should have stretched. That's my fault.
Red Shetland.
What are you showing there? Oh, because we were talking about Red Sonja.
Well, we were just talking about kind of campy titles and things like that. This is a nice
You got
play.
one of those for me, don't you? Didn't you get me one of those? Somebody got me one of those. Nice.
Yes, I do. I got one for you.
That's
and
hot.
it's worth like it's like a $20 book now.
Shut up.
No.
It's a furry book, and
It's a furry
it's
book.
Red Sonja, so that'll do it.
Red Shetland.
Well, yeah, but there's a Red Sonja movie.
Buxom barbarian she-horse, funny animal adventure as you like it.
She said horse. Everybody.
Horse.
Let's go back. Let's go back and show David's book.
Okay, sorry.
No, I think sales of Red Shetland are going to spike now.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to share that screen again. Where did that screen go? All right, so sharing screen. I'm pulling it up in 3, 2, 1, and there it is.
There we go.
That's so great. Damn.
That's the A cover, which
nice
is
cover.
David Costa.
That's beautiful.
The Von Samu cover.
I
And that's
I
the
love her
crazy thing.
facial
That's actually a
expression.
scene in the comic book. That's John
Those are
Royal.
all super fun.
Nice.
That's also kind of a scene in the actual comic book, which is again a very rare thing on a comic book cover.
Have you met Elvira?
Yes, I have a couple of times.
Yeah.
Vincent Price?
Is she as
Vincent Price was gone before I had a chance to meet him, unfortunately.
right? I think we were pretty young. I think when he passed,
I wasn't that young, but I still.
we were younger. Put it that way.
Yeah.
What's up, Wack?
So I have to ask: is Elvira as lovely as a person as she seems?
Oh, she's great. She's been a pleasure to work with throughout this entire process. She reads everything and gives me usually very, 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 very few notes, which is
Really
very nice as a writer to get very few notes.
yeah.
She's like Gothic Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's a great
yes,
meme
that's
out
a
there
great
of the
depiction of
yin-yang
her.
Or
Dolly
is
Parton as the
Dolly
girl.
Parton
Right.
country Elvira?
That I prefer that interpretation. I prefer
Sorry, I get deep. Sorry.
You know, there's history there where Dave Stevens
I
had a
love that
personal
cover.
relationship with Betty Page,
Mhm.
right? When she was much older, Dave would go visit her and spend time with her, and you know he used her obviously as the basis of Cliff Secord's girlfriend in The Rocketeer.
Yes.
And was a from what I understand was a strong advocate of hers, and that was all based off of that that relationship. He just was a big fan and wanted to go meet her and do stuff with her in it, and there you go. What was that question, Ace? You want to skip back to that one real quick there, Mr. Worst? With it being confirmed by his daughter that Vincent was bisexual, have you made Vincent bi in the comics?
Over the course of the series, he's a ghost, so he's non-corporeal and can't touch people.
There you go.
That's a lot.
He doesn't date in the course of the series, but his bisexuality is, it's intrinsic to who he is, and it's part of his character, and references made to it, I would say.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't want to, stop things dead and point to it, particularly because it wasn't really relevant to anything that was happening in the comic. But there's a previous Elvira series where she spent a lot of time with Divine, and she talks about imagining heaven as, a heavenly Studio 54 where he's hanging out with Divine. So
That would be great.
yeah,
We're talking about Divine of the
of the John Waters.
John
Pink
Waters
flamingos?
equation.
Yeah.
There's a whole arc in issues 5, 7, 8 of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. She is accidentally dragged into hell and has to walk all 9 circles down to meet Satan to get released. And her guide
Is Divine.
is a portly, balding gentleman named Glenn. And once they are free of hell, she turns around and sees Divine. And he says, I only look like that in the Inferno.
That's hilarious.
I believe in that particular book, you also had Robert E. Lee as a toll collector of hell.
As a parking lot attendant.
That's hilarious.
On the fifth level of hell. Yeah.
That's like Super Satan Baby 2 with Jack Kirby being like one of the horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh Lord, yes.
Not Super Satan Baby, but I'm going to skip the actual title.
Whatever the name is, Super Sex Satan.
You know what? We'll stick with the first one. So,
it's a
Hey,
little
we
baby
didn't title
Satan
the damn
kid,
thing.
and it's like SSB 2, whatever.
I
that-
did warn you, didn't I, David? I hope I did. I
My
really.
back's out. I'm sorry, Robo. I know.
So,
Sorry, I'm an asshole.
So I've always been a fan of Elvira. I remember the movie that came out in the mid '80s. She used to have the late night show where she showed the old movies. I don't know if that was actually syndicated, but it was. I think it was like on Channel 9 out of New York City in the '80s. you could get it.
Channel 9. What would
Yeah,
that be
like-
in Cali?
WOR, technically not out of New York, out of Secaucus, New Jersey.
There you go. There you
Oh,
go.
is it like
Ah,
super Satan sodomy? It's sodomy's in
Jesus
there.
Lord, yes.
Christ.
We're right back to it.
So I've always been a big fan. You know, that old DC series of hers is incredibly difficult to get your hands
Love you,
on.
lady.
And I remember it because it had just some of the coolest covers.
Yeah.
Back
the
then.
interior didn't always live up to it, but the covers, I feel like the first one was Brian Boland. I actually just got a copy of that recently. There's a Sienkiewicz cover.
Yes.
Yeah, the stories inside don't actually involve Elvira very much.
No, not typically.
Yeah.
She's very much the Cain and Abel of the title. But I noticed, with Dynamite, and this is something that's Dynamite's always been known for. If you've ever been a fan of Dynamite, you see this collection of covers here, and that these are cool covers, but there's another 30 to 45 covers.
Yeah. No, it's insane.
No
The variant
bueno.
cover, the
I'm
variant cover
good.
thing is insane. I think on this
What's
one,
up
we
with
have
that?
less than
Yeah.
usual.
Okay. How many, Rob, did you see how many were on that issue? Are you able to count those real quick for us? See how many variant covers?
There were 12.
And here's the thing. What I understand is from my LCS that, when it gets to FOC, like the day before or the day of, they drop in like another 10 covers. Like
That happens.
That is
That does happen if
crazy.
it's selling well. They'll the last Elvira #1, they released like a couple more covers of it when it was selling so well.
Okay.
So
Well,
far we have 4, 8, 12. Yeah, we got 14 covered.
14 covers.
So
Now-
far.
Now there
Though I
are
will say those are 14 covers, but they're really only variants of 4 covers.
really. Yeah, to be
and
fair.
a lot of
And
times
why?
there are like on Betty Page, there would be like 12 completely distinct covers and then 8 variants of those 12 covers.
Right.
My God.
Now, well, here's the thing. There are definitely, cover completionists. I have some friends who are cover completionists. I will buy a couple of covers that I like and have in the past. The old Project Superpowers line from Dynamite. I bought every single cover they came out with. They're all Alex Ross covers. Why would I be an insane person not to buy them?
Sure.
I mean, that's different. If
well-
it's Alex Ross, you've got to. Like, you're obligated to.
But some people, that's their thing. They just like having all the
Yeah.
all the covers.
I know.
Um,
I'm not going to hate.
So I can't bash them for that. I appreciate that, and I myself enjoy it quite a bit.
Me too.
So you've done Betty Page.
Mm-hmm.
You've done well, not that you've done her. You've written Betty Page. You've written Elvira. Are there any other beautiful women you'd like to write a comic about?
I won't name names, but I actually got offered one a few months ago and went pass. It's not a niche I'm looking to stay in.
Okay.
When I was offered the Betty Page comic, I was not that fascinated by the idea of doing it. And then I watched this documentary called Betty Page Reveals All, which is largely narrated using an interview with Betty herself.
Yeah.
And she was so compelling as a person and as a character. I went, yeah, okay, I can write her. That's an interesting person.
Right.
And I also, when after that they offered me Elvira, and I was like, oh, is this going to be my thing now, where they're going to give me sex symbols to turn into? And what I had done with Betty was not a trick you can do twice. I'm making her a federal agent, making it her secret diary that tells of this whole other life she had that has nothing to do. You're invited over, Ree. Just come on by. Anyway, long story short, my artist, Dave Acosta, who I've worked with probably more than anyone, is a huge Elvira fan. And when I told him this was on the plate, he was like, you're taking this job. I'm drawing it. There will be no discussion. And how he saved my ass is he showed me a bunch of comics from the 1950s, covers of like Jerry Lewis comics and Bob Hope comics.
Yeah.
And a lot of spacing on the name of the artist now. the artist who drew Angel and the Ape. And he said it's this kind of thing. It's not the thing about Elvira is it's a comedy book. It's Mad Magazine. It's in Betty Page. It's lighthearted, but I am telling like sci-fi stories and espionage stories, and stories about giant insects and body snatchers. In Elvira, the goal is to make you laugh at least every 2 panels. It's not so much about this is a coherent story that makes a lot of sense.
Elvira's all tongue in cheek, right? I mean,
yeah, and she breaks the fourth wall a lot, which she was doing 30 years before.
That's She-Hulk,
Right.
Yeah. So it's and there's literally in the 4th issue, in the first issue of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark that I wrote, there's a scene where she's running and she turns to the audience and says, "I bet you pervs wish this was video instead of a still frame in a comic book, huh?" And then she says, "By the way," which one of the variant covers did you pick up? There are so many of them.
There you go.
And the person she's with, Mary Shelley, is like, "What is a variant cover? I don't know what you're talking about."
Right.
So you do sort of put a lampshade on it, as it's called, on some of the ridiculous stuff.
I wasn't Howard the Duck really kind of one of the first fourth wall breakers?
In comics, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby is a perfect example. In those On the Road films, they are constantly breaking the fourth wall and talking about being in a movie and talking about how, in the opening scene of Road to Morocco, they're singing a song and they say, "We're going to run into Dorothy LaMorche because she's in all these movies."
Right.
So it gives you a great deal of freedom. It is a tricky thing to do it and still maintain any kind of dramatic. Thank you, Michael Lehman. Yes. Bob Oxner. That was the name I was trying to remember. But yeah, you do kind of, the tricky thing is to not undermine your character and the scene that they're in so much. So you keep the breaking of the fourth wall to a reasonable amount and don't do it every 3rd panel.
So I actually have something here that might break the fourth wall for everybody. I guess you were probably reading comic books back in the 1980s when Elvira came out. So a few years later, in retrospect, we kind of know what happens in this movie. But watching this on cable TV in the late 80s, early 90s, there's one scene in particular that's more horrifying than any Freddy versus Jason versus Hellraiser. And it's this one particular scene, and I want to show it, this one clip, and get everybody
Yay!
So this is, to cue it up, a scene about maybe 13 minutes in to Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And we're going to share the audio, and here we go. So, oh boy, let's blow that up.
Honestly, folks, an underappreciated masterpiece.
It's Kinnicky.
Yeah, nice book.
Oh,
wait for it.
Isn't that first Carnage? Wasn't that first Carnage that they're holding up there?
No, it's like
that would be the first cameo appearance of Venom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Venom. There you go.
it's like his cameo. Yeah.
Of course, comics were only 75
Mm.
cents back then, and they probably printed 380,000 copies of that particular.
There
book.
is that, but it is an obvious thing. It tells you how Elvira feels about comic books. That those are the villains.
$2.99. Okay.
And this is
Absolutely.
This is how we identify them as the villains. They're the guys ripping a comic book in half.
Get him!
It's a dick move.
So you felt good when they were defeated.
Exactly. They don't have the proper amount of respect for the medium.
Right. You just get rid of them. In 1988, I think her DC title was out, wasn't it?
Might have been.
It was right around that time. Might have been 86.
I have
feel
an
like she
issue
was on-
here.
That book only had her as the host for like a year,
Right.
like 12 issues or something like that. And then it
Yeah.
goes back to Cain and Abel or whatever.
Yeah, April 1986, I think issue 2 came out. It looks like. I did not know that, everybody. I looked it up on CLZ.
I have my 1987 Dave Stevens right here.
Yep.
January
Oh,
of
wow.
86 is the first issue, apparently. Yes, okay. So that was a couple years. It might have been right around when they were shooting it. Still, it should have been close to that period of time. So Bob Oxner was the artist on Showcase.
Yeah.
And you want to know a funny story? He used Bob Oxner as the point of reference for you. Bob Oxner was also the artist on some of the Elvira's DC books.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Right? Absolutely.
Right up his alley.
He probably knew that, which is why he tied all those together. Being a comic.
Dave is very smart, and I think he's more of a comics nerd than I am.
Well,
what's up, Mark?
that's a hell of a compliment in these circles. So that means a lot. That means a lot.
Absolutely.
So you don't want to be the guy who does the sex symbol, the awesome sex symbol books, which is fair. I can understand.
Not exclusively. I'm
exclusive,
happy
right?
I'll do 100 more issues of Elvira if she wants to keep doing them. So I have no compunction about that.
You're fine with playing Gilligan. You just also want to be able to play something else too.
That's
right.
Right.
That's fair. That's fair.
What's the Gilligan?
God
Shut
damn,
the
Lenny.
Oh my god.
It was a serious question. I didn't understand the reference.
You have a
You never watched Nick at Night? Oh, I love watching Nick at Night.
Don't play into their hand.
Swear
can't
on
help
Helen
it.
Mirren, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right,
So
just Google Gilligan's Island.
Helen Mirren.
What the
Or
fuck
Gil-
is
or
that?
Bob Denver.
Oh,
There you go.
I can't believe
Uh,
it.
Alan
You're
Hay.
making me so sad
Um,
right now, Ace.
So if you don't want to be pigeonholed now, which is totally fair. I mean, listen, I
The
love Mark
campy
Hamill,
show in the
but
70s.
he was nothing but Luke Skywalker until like the Joker. So if you could pick a dream project or a
I know
dream
who the hell
character,
Gilligan is.
who would it be? What would it be?
Well, I have a bunch of creator-owned stuff that I'm working on. I have the Drawing Blood series with Kevin Eastman, which is a dream project. It's
Oh wow.
great to be working
I
with Kevin.
bet. Yeah.
And right now, I'm actually in the process of trying to set up a very personal creator-owned thing with a company, and we'll see if they go for it. They liked my initial pitch. I'll give you the very quick. It's called Two-Fisted Fairy Tales.
I love it.
My dad was
I'm already smiling.
My dad was a World War II veteran and also a Pulp Fiction writer. And when I was a little boy and he was telling me the bedtime stories, he told me all of the classic fairy tales as World War II combat stories starring himself.
Nice.
So, like, if you think of Little Red Riding Hood, the woodsman that comes in at the end and kills the wolf is my dad's reconnaissance platoon.
I love that analogy.
Sleeping Beauty was told to me as, we rolled into this small town in Belgium and everyone was upset. There was a chick in a glass box and no one could wake her up. Like, that's how they were all told to me in this like hard-boiled private detective style. More gunplay than there usually is. Oh yeah, there it is. So it was last year I did an 8-page version of it called German Chocolate for the Nightmare Theater Anthology.
Yep.
And the art was by the incredible Sylvia Califano, who does Star Trek over at IDW, and is not afraid to draw tanks.
I did not realize how difficult. I'm trying to find the story just to give you guys a quick peek. I don't want to ruin it because you guys should. I know I showed this when I got it, but you guys should definitely see if you can get your hands on this this Nightmare Theater.
The thing I did,
group of
I used the excuse of that as a way to sort of do a prologue to Two-Fisted Fairy Tales and see if it would work. And they're silly as art.
There's some of the art right there.
My dad in his tank.
And you know what? You can tell just from the image exactly what story they're telling. He was telling David here.
It's a candy house.
His name. He has your dad's name too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I didn't see any reason to change it from reality.
Right.
I think that's part of the joke of it. I always like, the whole elevator pitch thing where you take two famous projects and you put them together and that's how you sell something. I always like to do those by choosing two that someone hearing it is going to go, how the hell does that work?
Right.
So when I pitch that to people, I said it's The Princess Bride meets Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, interesting.
And I think for most people, that's a head scratcher, is how that could possibly be a thing. But it's my childhood, so
that makes sense because you want them to ask you more questions.
Exactly. You don't want them to go, okay, boring. I'm bored already with that.
Right. Like it's a joke where people go, I figured out how to make Superman interesting. It's Superman, but he's a dick. There's no editor at DC.
I'm already exhausted.
Right. There's literally nobody who's worked in comics who hasn't heard that idea before.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Like Dave Chappelle, he's talked about how he's got this exercise where he's got like a bowl at his house and it's got a bunch of different like words or whatever, and he'll pull one each day and he has to come up with a joke, and the punchline, it has to have that word in it or whatever. It's just like mental exercises.
That's a great exercise.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know. I'm just like, so it's kind of like it's like, dude, you could just literally get two different bowls of different like things that you like in terms of stories, and you're just like, fuck it, let me pull this one and let me pull that one, and I'm just gonna do it. Anyway, sorry.
Well, I think that it's that mashup that makes it more interesting.
Oh, the mashups are great, dude.
That's where the real interesting stuff is, as opposed to just doing the 90th variation of the thing everybody else has done, like douchebag Superman, which is very big right now.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think douchebag Superman's always been on people's minds ever since people watched Superman 4 and were like, I love Christopher Reeve, but he's kind of douchebag Superman in this one, right?
The funny thing about everyone thinking douchebag Superman is an original idea is literally the guys who created Superman, their first shot at it was douchebag Superman. And
absolutely.
And the editor said, what if he was a good guy instead? And they went, oh, we'll try that.
Right.
So like literally, it's not good guy Superman is actually the variation of the tired idea.
Absolutely.
Not the other way around.
Absolutely.
That the powerful guy is a dick who lords it all over everyone.
Right.
That's not new.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, Bizarro came out in 1967. Ultraman from the Crime Syndicate came out in around the same time. El Bizarro might have been a little bit earlier. He was in Superboy. But either way, they're jerk Superman has always been around.
I can't remember the name of Zardoz looking Superman. Remember that guy? He's from the 70s, from the Kurt Swan era. There was a guy who was a Superman from another planet, and he had the Sean Connery mustache and
Vartox.
Baby duck. What was the name?
Vartox.
There we go.
Vartox. Hold on, I'll get you a link for him. I know that guy. He very much a character of his era. Here you go. Here we go. I'm gonna pop this over into the chat. Rob, see if you can bring that up there real quick so everybody can see.
Go ahead.
But this fella, I know exactly what you mean. Open chest shirt. Yeah. Thigh high boots with like bikini bottoms.
Yeah, it's Sean Connery's costume from Zardoz with some.
Oh yeah.
Someone do a Sean Connery impression.
And there you go.
Money.
Shake it.
Necessary to continue the show.
So yes, very much so.
Yeah, there we go.
So
there he is.
Actually, he was recently in. Was he in the Power Girl series or something? He was in the Power Girl series that Connor Palmiotti did. A few years
Possibly.
back.
That wouldn't surprise me from those two.
Right. Exactly.
I'm here to fight for truth, justice, and the American way.
Oh, that's good.
That was good.
That's good.
And I will fuck up anyone who gets in my way.
We had you and I had talked a little bit about this when we first talked about having you on the show, and we had talked about this a little bit right before the show. And for everybody who's watching, this is our 1 year anniversary of our Dynamite Comics episode. And for those of you who were here at that time, you know, we won't necessarily rehash things, but you know, some decisions were made and some things happened, and some of the community were rather upset.
Suck it, Trebek.
I quite frankly was one of those people who was a little bit upset. Ace.
Hell, we all were. We made an entire episode about it, and this is why Ace
was that the we need to talk about?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
So we don't do a lot of those episodes, so they're kind of memorable when we do.
We don't. We like to celebrate what's great about comics, and you know, we'll put the push back to what's bad about it, but you know, we don't want to focus on that. You know, but we did do a whole episode on it.
It's not like intrinsically bad, or like it's not just relegated to comics. I mean, hate is hate. There's just
something that
every
Miracleman
life.
Right. Absolutely.
It's part of the human condition.
Yep.
Being nasty.
That happens.
And just try to, you know, what is it? Altruism, you never reach it, but at least like try to treat other people the way you want to be treated. Don't be a dick.
Right.
All right, that's enough. Fuck all this shit. I can't be nice.
But I want to be treated like a dick, so I'm going to treat other people like a dick.
If you want to be treated like a dick, I'm going to send you to space right the fuck now.
Do it.
Well, Miracleman, prior to this episode, you were on IFLC. I freaking love comics, our sister network. And there is something that I believe it was you mentioned or Judah mentioned that I don't give a shit about what the suits and corporates say because they're the ones not paying the creators properly enough. Yeah. We care about the creators here because they're the ones that produce the things that we enjoy around here.
Right.
Yep.
So when we hear that things are not as forward or not as progressive or perhaps not as unifying to a community that we appreciate, we're going to give a little bit of pushback. And this is what brought us to making that episode. And Miracleman, go ahead, take it away.
Well, for those of you who didn't see it, I want to make sure very, very clear what we're saying here from a negative standpoint. Nobody, as far as I'm aware, involved with Diamond in any way, shape, or form, or Diamond. That's a lie. Dynamite had any hate in them, as far as I'm aware. It was the group that shall not be named. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Let's not be children. And that group had some involvement with the company due to whatever that was heretofore unknown. I got a little bit upset about it, as I said.
I got very upset about it. It ruined my life for about a month.
Well, there you go.
You know what? Let me just tell you this: Miracleman is not passionate about anything.
I'm passionate about, everybody sees what my name is. So there's a couple of things I'm passionate about. One is, creators getting what they deserve. Just as a case in point, I think we just found out that, what's his name? Who wrote Brubaker? He got more money for his, SAG, appearances than he did than he got for creating the Winter Soldier.
That just reminded me.
Listen, I get it. Right. And I get it. You got, there's contracts and it's an IP and it's work for hire. I get that. But when you have something successful like that goes way beyond the expectation of I wrote a couple of comics.
Yeah.
That sold 15,000, 20,000 copies each.
Yeah.
There should probably be something in there.
One thing that I don't know if the fans notice, but I've certainly noticed it, and I will say that I did it unconsciously. A lot of comic book creators aren't out there creating original comic characters for publishers much anymore.
Right.
when you're writing a superhero book and you need a character, you can turn to your editor and say, rather than creating a character, tell me who DC Comics owns that would fit this plot hole that I have that needs a certain character.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me who Marvel owns, rather than me coming up with Winter Soldier, rather than me coming up with Venom as an example. So that
Red
was
Hood.
But my point is, like, when I do, you'll notice reading my comics, there are a lot of historical figures. Like Alan Moore, I like a good public domain character every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare. I have to really, like, with gritted teeth, with great reluctance, introduce an original character that I created who's completely mine.
Right.
Because, you know, you're just giving them something, you're giving them gold and getting pennies for it.
Right.
And you'd like to think you'd be treated. I mean, fan outcry. People don't remember. Like, Siegel and Schuster's name wasn't on any Superman filmed entertainment until they were shooting Superman the movie in 77, 78. And the fans went, wait, these guys aren't getting any money? They're both still alive and you're not giving them a nickel?
Yeah.
Hey, they got $130.
Yeah, right?
Right.
So point being, I think a lot of creators now, I think Brubaker creating Winter Soldier was an example of, like, one of the last times you'll see that. Right. And I'll even point out that Brubaker absolutely did not create the Winter Soldier. He took Bucky and gave him a midlife crisis, and that's Winter Soldier. And I'm not saying Winter Soldier isn't an original conception, but it is a character that's been around since literally the late 1930s, early 1940s. So it is.
He built on canon.
Yeah, it's still you taking something that was there and making it 1,000 times more interesting, which is what we all do, hopefully, in work for hire stuff.
And we still get an Oscar category for best adapted work. And if it's adapted, where's it adapted from? The comic book itself. While the person might not have even created a character, they might have created an element of a storyline that has now entered the movie. And hey, not a penny paid.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're getting a little bit off topic, but
let me, if you don't mind,
go ahead.
I can step in, Miracleman, and just kind of wrap it up, which is, you know, it was found out that Dynamite had been helping Ethan get out his Kickstarter. If you want to ask yourself why Ethan needed that help with all that money he supposedly made, you just go ahead and ask yourself that question.
All right.
I can't answer it because I know the answer and it is not my answer to say out loud. When myself and a bunch of other people saw this come out, we were understandably outraged. We made a stink about it. Dynamite immediately retracted what it was doing, broke off all communication. The apology that was issued publicly was substandard. I am privy to the apology that was written before the lawyers got to it, and the lawyers would not let it be released. Because when you have someone who can go on social media and raise millions of dollars through a GoFundMe to sue you out of existence, you are taking a risk with the lives of your employees. Right. And that was a risk that the person we're talking about obliquely was unwilling to take, and I actually admire him for that. And he told me, again, without naming names, my boss at Dynamite said, please go forth and throw me under the bus. Call me a terrible person. Call me a guy, say I got suckered by a Nazi. Distance yourself from me if it helps you out. I'm not quite going to do that because he did get suckered by an old friend, but I know that he is not Comicsgate. I know that he does not support their worldview. And as I said when we were in the green room, a la Mean Streets, this was a case of a guy staying friends with someone who was a toxic individual long after he should have noticed that the person had become a toxic individual. They are no longer friends.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, I can look back and I remember what the absolute and you know, I'm not eating nothing. What are you talking about, Robo?
Are you chewing gum?
No. Am I making a lot of background noise? What's going on?
Lip smacking?
Is comics on the mind, bagging and boarding?
Yeah,
I
man.
think
Like
it was
what?
bagging and
Yeah,
boarding.
I'm bagging and boarding.
Listen, I saw the pushback that he got from that side of the aisle.
Mhm.
Again, not naming names, but that person got from that side of the aisle. And when I say aisle, I really mean from that aisle of the sewer.
Yes.
And it was vile.
Yeah.
I was irritated. I was upset. I've shared some of the reasons with you why I was upset at the time.
But
I won't get
anyone
into all
could.
that now.
But again, honestly, you could have seen it coming from space.
Well,
Like
sure.
he allied himself with someone who was, the king of a bunch of trolls, and then he repudiated that allyship, and then the troll army turned on him immediately, and so suddenly he's hated from both sides of that dispute.
Right.
And I didn't want to go that way myself.
Right.
One other thing that I will take all of the proper nouns out of this thing that I told everyone who said to me, you should stop working for Dynamite. So I should work for the company that kept a sexual abuser in its ranks for 30 years.
Right.
I should work for the fill in the blank. There is
Right.
name a comic book company and I will tell you the crimes their board of director has committed, or their editor in chief, and maybe there might be a White House. I don't know anything negative about Boom off the top of my head. Like that's the one I can think of where it's like, no, there are no embezzlers, rapists, or but that's sort of my point is who would you like me to work for? I can do Kickstarters for the rest of my life, or I can try to get comics out that are good. And I would also like to say that my comics at Dynamite have been incredibly political. And the thing that I was writing literally when this all went down was the Omega Ma'am, which is a 40-page fuck you Trump diatribe. And that's what Dynamite was publishing from me while all this was going on. So I don't know that was super popular with Comicsgate when it came out.
Right.
And there we go with our first down vote. Thank you for that for the view.
There it is.
I hope whoever downvoted us has a lovely evening. You just pushed us up the algorithm, jackass. So
I'm all for people showing their true colors.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, we're not about gaining viewers just to gain viewers.
Awesome. We went to 3. Let's see how many we can get. Come on.
Oh, yay.
So here's, I really appreciate you being as candid as you are with it, and still holding what needs to be held close to the chest. I really do. I myself, I am, just from what we've discussed, I'm willing to move past it. When everything went down, the first thing I wanted to do was make sure that creators who were doing work that I loved, I still continue to support. So I made a list of creators who said they were stepping away from books. I know there was some stuff that was supposed to get announced that was termed the biggest thing Dynamite's ever done. And some of those things got dashed. Some of those were announced and got ended. Some of them were never announced. I don't know if they've ever been replaced. But that's what I did. I went and I made a list of all the creators, and I mean like letterers, colorists, you name them. And a lot of folks kept working with Dynamite. And I was thinking over the last year, if folks kept working for them, some of those folks could definitely go anywhere and get books made. No real problem. Any other publisher would probably pick up almost every one of the folks who continue to work with them.
Yeah.
So that says something. That said something to me. That there was something there worth working with.
Yeah.
Either a level of creative freedom or a relationship with the publisher. Mm-hmm. And you and I have been in the trenches on many an occasion. So I certainly know what your colors are.
No, I'm not. So. That's the thing. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And by the way, part of what makes the whole partnership work, so does Elvira.
Oh, sure.
Her politics are not subtle. She does not hide them. When she posts a lot of things, she gets the, stop talking that liberal bullshit and show us your tits. She'll get all of that. And it has never dissuaded her in the entirety of her career. Right. And ultimately, I know there are creators out there who are like, it's best to be quiet about your politics and take them. But it's like, I don't know how I could tell stories that way. I have no idea. And I'm not really interested in Nazi readers.
Shut up,
Right.
Reed.
Right, we can get rid of them any time of the day. Please go away. That was what we say to them. I'm with you 100% on that. Rob, actually, I just emailed you something that I hope it would be okay to show this panel. But this was in the Traveling Through Hell. There was the scene that you had shared with me.
I think I know where this is
I,
going. You're trying to get me in all of the trouble.
I mean, you had it published, brother. So
I did. No, that's true. I absolutely did.
You submitted that script.
I did, and then Dave Acosta drew it, and I loved it, and I had it colored and lettered and put out into the world. But yeah,
it's funny. It's funny.
I thought it was funny myself.
It is funny. So here you have a couple of scenes, and this is here's your Robert E. Lee, as the parking lot attendant in hell, which that's funny, that's where you belong. And
if you want to know how comic books are made, like Dave Acosta and I had a 20-minute discussion about whether or not he should have a hat on.
You went no hat. Who won?
I think I won.
Okay. All right.
I talked about how most of the portraits of Lee have him without a hat.
Fair.
And it also kind of, he looks kind of pathetic there, and that's how I like him.
Right. Without the hat, he does look more pathetic.
He just looks like some old retiree who got a job as a parking lot attendant.
Right.
Old retiree who used to beat his slaves. Who got a job as a parking lot attendant.
Ace, is this correct?
Yeah.
Close?
No, Ace just texted me something.
Oh.
Did she? Really?
Yeah. Hold on, I'll send you a screenshot.
Holy shit.
Wait, what?
So it appears that Elvira has retweeted us.
What?
Oh, sure.
What? No way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No way. That is so awesome.
Yeah, she retweeted you guys. She retweeted you guys this morning.
Oh my goodness! I didn't
That
know. Wow.
is so awesome.
When actually before I even retweeted you, Elvira had retweeted
this.
Oh boy!
Oh, we'll pull that up right after this.
United States of Elvira. We love you.
So here we have. Wow, that's hard to concentrate after that.
I know.
So here
Let
we
me see
have.
if I can bring up that email.
Go back and show the scenes. Not the. You're killing me, Smalls. Not this one. Not the one with the bullhead there. Keep going down. Okay, so this one here.
Yeah, that's the intro.
So there's your intro. Now listen, this is not modeled after any individual, right? Right, Dave?
No, it's not. Though there's some dude with a YouTube channel who, after this issue came out, did 3 to 6 YouTube videos about how I was obsessed with him.
That's what the crazies always do.
I had never heard of him before, but it came up on a Google search because I'm engaged in Googlebation just like everybody else.
Right.
And this was just a general caricature of a certain kind of dude that I've known my whole life, long before Comicsgate existed.
It used to be the counter jerk at the comic shop. You go up
totally.
They tear apart every book you picked up. It doesn't matter what it was. They would tell you
this is I make a joke about The Last Jedi there. What people don't realize is the whole, social media universe, for all of the good that it's done to us, all of the dudes and all of the shit they said about The Last Jedi, I am here to tell you they said the same shit about The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. But what the public got from those dudes in 1980 was a maximum of 3 letters to the editor in Starlog magazine, and that was it. There was no other megaphone. There was no, no other way.
They couldn't publish 37 videos a week about it.
There was no ability to do that.
To be fair, if you look at that image, all you'd have to do is show me YouTube screeching neckbeard, and that's the picture that would come up right there.
There you go.
There it is. Elvira retweeted.
Hot damn.
Wow.
Yeah, Cassandra is very supportive of the comics.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome, man.
That's great.
Yeah,
It's awesome that
that's
he
awesome.
advocates. you
I
know?
won't lie. When that movie came out in 1988, I might have had a bit of a crush on her.
No.
I was
You
1
know,
years
how
old.
can you not?
Exactly. You know,
What was 1988 like?
Jesus Christ. Shut up,
I
Ace.
didn't have memory yet. Give me like 2 more years, and I'll tell you.
I had just moved to Los Angeles. I was fresh out of college. You were not yet born.
My mom was still in high school.
Reagan was president.
1988.
That might be the first time I've spoken to someone whose mom is too young for me to have dated. That's as old as I have ever felt in my life.
Oh, that is hilarious.
But yeah, and I saw that movie, and I thought it was delightful, and I had seen her. I know I was aware of her because I know that in '85 when Pee-wee's Big Adventure came out, and she has the cameo
Love
as the
that
biker
movie.
chick. I went, that's
Yeah.
Elvira with her natural red hair.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that movie definitely so I was like 10 or 11 when I first saw it, so it was like, right at a good time for a young man to find a big buxom woman to enjoy. And but beyond that, yes, of course she was very beautiful and whatnot, but beyond that, she always seemed like somebody that would be enjoyable to be around. She'd be wearing a hoodie and sweatpants and slippers and no makeup, hair not done, and I think she would be the raddest chick to hang out with.
Can I tell you one of my favorite stories about her?
Yes, please.
I read this in an interview. This isn't a story she told me, but when she does public appearances now, 90% of the time she's in civilian clothes. She's a nice redheaded lady in a cardigan,
Right.
And the reason for that is about 5 years ago, she was at San Diego Comic-Con in her whole getup. And she was walking, going around, rushing to an autograph signing or a panel or whatever. And coming the other way towards her was Gene Simmons of Kiss.
No way.
Gene Simmons was also
gosh.
in his insane makeup. And she saw him and she thought, what is wrong with us? Why? We're grown adult people with millions of fans. They don't need us. Shatner isn't downstairs in gold pajamas and footy boots. He
Probably is
normal 70-year-old man. Like, why am I running around in my costume from 30 years ago? Like, this is ridiculous. So now she's like, if the fans love, and I've seen lines for her literally around the block to get a nice picture with the red-haired, beautiful lady in the cardigan, as opposed to the dress. So I love that it was seeing Gene Simmons and going, wow, what a clown.
Right.
He was way nicer than that in the interview. I'm what's the word? I'm projecting a little bit.
Right.
But yeah.
Aww.
And Pee Wee Herman, by the way, one of her closest friends.
Yeah, really?
So much more.
Yeah, they were in
And
the
apparently
Groundlings.
Paul Rubens is a really nice guy and appeared in Buffy the Vampire Slayer in later seasons.
They were in the Groundlings together in the late 70s, early 80s, and they both developed those characters, Elvira and Pee Wee Herman, at the Groundlings.
Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens was also in a Cheech and Chong movie where he pulled Tommy Chong underneath the table and they did a giant line of blow and came back up from under the table all tweaking out with snow all over their face. But he was in later seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Wasn't he also in
The first
He was also in
movie?
the movie.
Right, yeah, the movie, right?
Yeah.
He gets his arm
I
knocked
didn't
out.
know that.
He was Rutger Hauer's right hand.
Yes.
David, I have a
His
question.
hand knocked off.
Do you collect comic books?
Do I collect comic books? Oh yeah.
Good question.
Oh yeah. I'll say this: over the years, I've been reading comics since I was about 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
Because my dad was a World War II veteran, as previously mentioned. Pretty sure my first comic was a Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos,
Does that make you a boomer?
which
Hold
was
up, hold up,
no,
hold
I'm
up.
Gen X. I'm one of the first 2 years of Gen X.
Oh, okay.
And my sister's like, yep, there we go.
Oh, look at
Nick Fury.
Zero
I still
copy.
have one. I still have this one for you, Rob.
Tell us about your collection tastes.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll say this: I have never. I'm a superhero comic has to be fucking fantastic for me to read it. A mediocre superhero comic is like the most boring thing in the world to me.
So, what do you consider a fucking fantastic superhero?
New Frontier is probably the best superhero comic I've ever read. I read some of the Kurt Swan era Superman when I was a kid. They weren't great. They were just, cotton candy.
Sure.
But had I not read those, I would not have enjoyed Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow at all. Like, I wouldn't have understood what all of those characters were. So I was kind of glad that was in there. It's not shocking that everyone says the Miller run on Daredevil is amazing. It's actually my favorite.
Yes.
My favorite scene ever with the Avengers is their appearance in Born Again for like 3 pages. That's one of the best anyone has ever written. Captain America is in that comic. Is in a Daredevil. But yeah, like I'm not a big. So much of the Batman Superman stuff is just so incredibly mediocre to me that I'm not that fascinated by it.
So, talk to us about your ratios of like big 2 to indies in terms of the composition of your collection. I need a pie chart right
The
now.
times that I was mostly buying comics, I was buying comics from companies that now no longer exist. So, like my 60 issues of American Flag from First Comics.
Yes, I was
My
just
run
talking
of Red Star from Epic.
Okay.
Epic's technically Marvel. All those friggin' Love and Rockets in the next room. It's probably like big 2 is probably 40%. But like I have every issue of Star Wars from 77 to 87, 1 to 109, ending with that great Joe Duffy run. But I'm still smart enough that I don't talk about Star Wars with Howard Chaykin when I ran into him, because I don't want to be punched in the face. He's not happy about people who remember him from Star Wars. And his art on those books isn't very good, but American Flag is one of the most groundbreaking, amazing comics anyone's ever done. I'm looking across the room at some of my books. And then I drop out of comics in the 90s. I stopped reading comics for a decade, partially because I'm broke, partially because pouches and tiny feet. There's a lot of stuff I don't care about that becomes very, very popular at the time. But yeah, like I read, and I love the old pulp characters, so I read The Shadow. I remember the Doc Savage comic from the 70s, and I later got to write both of them, which was very exciting for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, I read a lot of war comics. I read weird war comics in the 70s.
Oh, those are great.
Someone asked, by the way, that is a sculpture of the Medusa. I was a sculptor in high school, and that is the Medusa. If you take the Civil War, Civil War cap off her, you can see little snakes in her hair.
That's beautiful.
I by the way, I have your Dark Side that I see on the shelf above it.
Oh yeah, the Dark Side from my favorite big 2 comics of all time, and they're probably my favorite comics of all time. The entire period when Jack Kirby was at DC.
Oh yeah, that's crazy, man.
Those are my favorite mainstream comics because they are bat shit crazy.
Opening scene of OMAC, man. Like, what the hell?
OMAC is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Doc Savage, Clark Savage with the Fortress of Solitude in the Arctic. Still amazes me they got away with that with Superman. But yeah, I'm going on some podcast in a week or two to talk about Jack Kirby in the 70s. I'm not as big a fan of Stan Lee and Jack as I am of pure mainline uncut Jack, because that stuff is nuts.
Trippy.
And I'm still waiting my favorite characters in comics are Nick Fury and Darkseid.
Right on.
And they are so rarely
nice.
well in comics by other than their inventors. And the thing about Darkseid that as a writer, I can't believe any writer doesn't want to write him the way Jack Kirby wrote him, as a poetic, thoughtful weirdo.
Right.
Like
who
Thanos.
goes off on monologues with all of his lackeys standing around going, are we going to die when he gets to the end of this crazy thing that he's... I have no idea what he's fucking talking about.
Right.
But like,
it's like Fidel Castro's 6-hour monologues, and then are we dead?
He's such a great, funny character, and it cracks. My favorite superhero media might be the Harley Quinn sitcom.
Oh yeah.
And it cracks
that's so
me up.
good.
The Harley Quinn sitcom wrote Darkseid better than the Zack Snyder movie, and that cracked me up. Because on the Harley Quinn sitcom, they did write him as a hyperbolic weirdo, as a poetic, you know. I will always, to me, the moment that defines Darkseid is he shows up at the end of the wedding of Scott Free and Big Barda, and he scares everybody off except Shiloh and Oberon, and they see him. And he says something like, it was brief, but full of emotion. But life at best is bittersweet.
Well, where the fuck did that come
Darth
from, man?
Vader doesn't walk around saying life at best is bittersweet. And that's what I love about Darkseid, is that's, you know, he's a fascinating, weird-ass guy.
I'm a big fan of Kirby of that era as well. It's definitely been something that I've been very focused on getting finished in my collection. Commandy. When I was a kid, sucked me right in.
You know whose favorite comic that is?
Whose?
Kevin Eastman.
Really?
Wow.
No kidding.
Kevin Eastman. You want to talk about where the violent talking animals maybe comes from?
Yeah, that makes sense.
In the Ninja Turtles, Kevin's first comic that he ever read was Commandy when he's living out in the middle of nowhere in Maine.
Yeah,
and he just went nuts for it. And if I had a dream, like, I would want to write Commandy for Kevin.
Oh God! I would buy the shit out of that book.
For the Avallone version of Commandy, plotted by both of us because Kevin is great with that stuff.
I believe I saw a photograph of Kevin it might have been in the Toys That Made Us, or that toy special on Netflix.
Yeah,
they did an episode on the Turtles where it had Eastman and Laird. Is it Laird?
Laird,
Laird, right? Eastman and Laird.
Scottish for Lord.
There you go.
Well, that was the street I lived on, Laird Avenue, when I was a kid.
And those two were at a con meeting Jack Kirby, and one of them is holding, and it must have been Kevin, is holding up the first splash page of Commandy #1.
Oh yeah.
That original art. And I remember looking at that and going, well, I'll never be able to own that now. Obviously, Kevin Eastman's never letting that go. I'll have to wait till he dies and get it from his estate.
At some point, he might have sold it to a collector. You never know.
Fair enough.
I mean, he owned the Batmobile once from the '89 Batman, and he doesn't have that anymore, sadly.
Oh God. But depressing. Speaking of Kevin Eastman, if you want to see a badass interview, stop over and see our friends at I Freaking Love Comics. They just did an interview.
Love Comics.
Judah and Robo.
He's one of my closest friends in the world.
Oh man, we love Kevin. We love Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys we did a comic together that we kickstarted called Drawing Blood.
Oh,
really?
If
you go to his website, you can buy the digital trade. The paper trade was supposed to come out April 2020. Guess what happened with that?
Yeah.
But the digital trade with 4 issues of that and an issue of a Turtles pastiche we did called the Radically Rearranged Ronin Ragdolls.
I actually bought that and read it and loved it.
Thank you.
There you go.
I love doing it.
You did that?
I wrote it. Yeah.
I fucking love that shit, bro.
I wrote that.
I love that shit. It was
now.
so good.
That's what it's all about, right?
It was the cutest shit ever. It's like cats. Instead of like turtles, it was cats, and they went to like a fucking they got taken up by sushi owners, or like a shop owners that sold like Asian sushi or whatever, and so they lived in a sushi shop, and they were
live
so
over a
saucy.
sushi shop in Queens.
Oh my god, I love it. I mean, you
think
wrote the fucking story, you know, but I'm just like opining. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
My brother's a big Turtles guy, and I think he has that book as well. Now that I just saw it, I'm almost positive he does.
It's super cute. Get it?
Right, Judah? So
yeah, no, that book was so much fun to do. We basically, Drawing Blood is this semi-autobiographical thing about about a creator who creates something like the Turtles, becomes a phenomenon, crashes and burns, and tries to put his life back together and all that. Yeah. And in order to do it, we sort of needed to create the thing that would be the Turtles in his world.
Right.
And we realized we couldn't really tell the story without actually like physically creating that book and knowing what was in it and knowing what the characters are actually like. And yeah, instead of Renaissance artists, they're named after anime directors. So their names are Miyazaki is the gentle, thoughtful one. The super violent one. The super violent one is Otomo, and the
my goodness, I love it.
The leader is Tezuka.
Oh, that's great.
And they're such fun characters to write.
Why don't you ask right now, Judah?
You could ask right now, Judah. I'd probably say yes. I'm horrifically easy like that. But yeah. So anyway, we will do more with those characters. They're sort of a way to comment on the whole history of the Turtles.
Yeah.
The next book coming out, Troy Little came up with a story for a 40-page ragdoll story that's like from the Nickelodeon era of the ragdolls.
Nice.
So it's it's more cartoony and it's more of a children's thing, whereas our first ragdolls issue was more of a mirage, kind of violent, bloody, not quite for kids.
Yeah. Definitely murders happening.
So yeah, there's a fair bit of violence in it.
I love it. It was so good. Exactly, cats, ninja cats, bro, that love to eat sushi instead of pizza.
Yep.
It is the hog's balls, and that is a compliment.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
If you read Drawing Blood, we did this very, very intentionally. There's this in the 4th issue of Drawing Blood. The main character who created the ragdolls, Shane Bookman, is at New York Comic Con, and he runs into Kevin Eastman. Because we wanted to definitely separate, like, no, this isn't some crypto autobiography. This is a fictional story that we're telling. And probably my favorite thing in the entire Drawing Blood book is as Kevin is walking away, a character named Morgan Harbor, who is definitely not Michael Bay, walks up to Shane Bookman and says, "Is that who I think it was?" And Shane says, "Yeah."
I've heard of this. I think I've seen that cover before.
And Shane says, "Yeah." And Morgan Harbor says, "Fuck that guy and fuck his fucking turtles."
Damn.
So that happened, is what you're saying? Is that
no? That absolutely did not happen.
I've seen that cover. That's
I just thought it was a very funny thing to do. But yeah, those are the Ben. That's the Ben. Ben is a huge fan of Breaking Bad, so he really needed to get Shane Bookman in his tighty whities on the first cover. Huge.
Yeah. That's a selling point right by itself. How often do you see
Kevin's cover?
A dude in white bikinis, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
There's nothing like. Listen, I'm definitely a Turtles fanboy. I just about finished my original Mirage run. There's so much of it. There's so much Turtles. But my brother might actually be the biggest Turtles fan in the history of Turtles. He has every single book except for the 2 ash cans that were made to finish the Image series.
Sure.
But I think he literally has every other book. A 3rd printing of issue 1, autographed by Kevin and Peter. And believe it or not, folks, autographed 3rd printings are actually really easy to find because Kevin and Peter were doing a tour around the country doing autographs at that time.
Tom Waltz is great, Judah. We love the IDW run. So good.
Oh, great stuff.
Sorry to interrupt. Go on.
No, it's fine. When he watches this episode, he's gonna have a freak out and text me. But
Yeah,
you know,
if you want to do the like don't meet your heroes thing, that absolutely doesn't. Kevin Eastman is literally the nicest guy in comics.
well, that's what I was.
Actually, I always
getting
say
to.
Kevin is the second nicest guy in comics, because if you ever meet Stan Sakai,
I've
he's
heard that.
absolutely the nicest guy in comics.
Right. And it's great to see him having, like,
A renaissance.
like 40 years, right, to get there. But man, the guy deserved it. Of all creators I've ever seen,
He
Stan
did a
Sakai.
cover for. I always tell this story. He did a cover for the first Ragdolls issue, with the Ragdolls with Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah.
I am usually not big on, like, I'm not that rude. I don't ask strangers for favors.
Right.
I walked up to a signing where it was an IDW signing, and Kevin and Stan were both signing comics. I think this was San Diego, and we were working on the Ragdolls at the time. And I walk up, and Kevin says, "Hey," Kevin is the world's biggest enthusiast. So Kevin's like, "Hey, man, Stan, meet my buddy Dave. He's great. Dave, meet Stan." And we're shaking hands, and literally the first words out of my mouth is, "Stan, will you do a cover for us?" And I was mortified that was the first thing I said to Stan Sakai was, "Hey, man, will you do a cover for us?" And Stan, being the lovely, gentle soul that he is, said, "Sure, yeah, that'd be great." And then, like, 2 months go by, and we don't even think about it. And then Kevin gets an email from Stan saying, "So do you want Usagi Yojimbo on the cover, or do you not want Usagi Yojimbo on the cover?" And we said, "Yeah, no, let's have Usagi Yojimbo on the cover." And then he just sent the art. Didn't ask for money. Did just here's a cover.
I love. That's such a great story.
So,
man.
and it's a wonderful cover. I love it.
Yeah, now I will have to make sure I have that in the collection, because I don't think I have it. But yeah, that's really great to hear, because Kevin, particularly after watching the Toys documentary, which I knew some of it.
It's, I mean, to be clear, there's a fair amount of nonsense in that documentary. Kevin,
I think there's some dramatization.
Kevin is not very happy about it, because they presented some things that aren't really true in that. But again, I don't, I can't do chapter and verse on that.
Sure.
But they edited some things to make it appear that things had happened in ways that they really, really, really hadn't happened.
More dramatic than reality. Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I honestly watched that. I kind of got walked away feeling like, oh man, if it sounds like Kevin really got boned there at one point, and maybe he did. But
he did, but not at all in the way that it seems like.
Okay.
Definitely mistakes were made, and things happen and whatever. But there's a lot, and I can say that Kevin is too nice to say this, but I can absolutely say this. So when it came out that they were doing Last Ronin, that director of that show absolutely presented it as, "Oh, I got Kevin and Peter back together again." And
he did, yes.
That is not even remotely. What happened was Kevin wanted to revive this old idea and reached out to Peter and said, "Hey, just if I want to revive this old idea, if that's okay with you." That was the sum total of Peter's involvement in The Last Ronin. Is that it was an idea they had both worked on together a million years ago, and that's it. That's literally the only thing it had to do with that. So, by the way, I'm putting the Sakai cover in the chat.
Oh, great!
If you want to
definitely bring that up, Rob. Yeah, I remember saying to myself, I feel like he kind of got abused there a little bit, and then my brother and I were talking about it, and I go, you know what though, whenever you see anything Turtles, even to this day, even though he doesn't, he may not, own the property any longer, you still see it's always Eastman. Eastman's name's always involved one way or another. Kevin's name's always involved there, which is great, which is good to see. I'm happy to see that. Oh, that's beautiful, man.
So yeah, there are some characters me and Kevin created being drawn by Stan friggin' Sakai, and that makes me very, very happy. Yeah, Atomo, you'll notice. So Atomo is the black cat, and you can't really see it that well in this picture, but they all have something that reflects who they're named after. Atomo is wearing a red leather jacket, I can't remember the name of the character now, from Akira. Miyazaki has Nausicaa's flight helmet on, and it's framed out of this, but Tezuka wears Astro Boy's bright red boots.
That's crazy.
When she's in civilian clothes, she sometimes wears a cute little beret because that's how the actual Tezuka dressed.
Nice.
Wow. That's great.
And it's appropriate for a teenage cat girl in the early 90s to wear the height of 90s fashion.
So we're coming up to an hour and 20 minutes here. I don't want to manipulate your entire evening, but we do wind up showing some comic books, and it's New Comic Book Wednesday. I don't know if you pick up books every Wednesday, but we wind up showing these around here.
Don't we have one of Stan's this week, don't we?
I believe a new issue came out, as well as a reprint of that one with the new character.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you wind up picking up books every Wednesday. Did you wind up picking up anything this week, David?
No, I didn't make it to the store today. I'll probably go on Saturday.
And my shop won't be getting books in until tomorrow, so I don't have any. So, lady.
Yeah, my pull list is at Golden Apple, famous in Los Angeles, and I will go by there probably Saturday. I had way too much to do today.
I know that feeling, absolutely. So we're going to give you the last word. Where can people find you coming up? Are there any conventions you're going to be attending at?
I have not been. Oh, yes. A Ronin is a masterless samurai. A samurai that no longer has an action. And the radically rearranged Ronin ragdolls were experimented on by a very SHIELD-like government agency called DRAW, led by a very Nick Fury-like leader named, not subtly named, Bull Steranko, for the comics fans in the audience. And you know how the Turtles' origin story is the Daredevil origin story?
Right.
Basically, the origin story of the Ragdolls is every other Marvel origin. As they're escaping the facility in which they've been held, they literally run through the gamma ray room, the genetic mutagen room, and the cosmic ray room. So it's literally the Fantastic Four origin story, the Hulk origin story, and the X-Men origin story. But anyway,
that is awesome.
I am hoping to get invited to some cons, but I haven't heard back from anyone yet. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing or when I'm going to be going to any of these, but I love trying to do more cons these days. And you can find me online. DavidAvallonefreelance.com has the link, the branches off to all of my social media stuff. Elvira Meets Vincent Price will be coming out on August 4th. I'm working on 2 other Elvira specials. It's all Elvira all the time for a minute. And again, hopefully the company that I pitched Two-Fisted Fairy Tales to will pick it up, and I'll be able to talk about that.
Awesome.
Well, I'm excited to read it. I'm not going to lie. That looks that I love the short story you did, and I'll be there if it gets picked up.
Thanks, much appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. Well, David, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I don't know, we always have fun doing these interviews, but hands down, this is one of the most enjoyable interviews I think we've done yet. I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you
so much. Meet you. Yeah,
my absolute pleasure. Really great to meet all of you.
Yeah, it was awesome meeting you.
I'm sure we'll be dunking on some chuds together tomorrow.
If not minutes after the conclusion of the show, because you're jonesing having not done that for going on about 3.5 hours now, because you've been live for 2 hours before we went live, and now 1 hour and 24 minutes now. So you've been
kitty. There's the kitty.
This is who's trying to get on the show right now.
Well, she made it, or he made it.
Hello.
Kitties are always allowed on the show.
Oh,
This is a
meow, meow.
kitty-friendly
Yeah.
show. Absolutely.
It's a must.
Breaking news, cats.
Breaking news, cats. Nothing but cats.
Yeah.
This is breaking news.
So thank you very much, David. We're going to go and show some comic books now. So
My pleasure.
what y'all
Enjoy.
this week?
Thanks again.
Thanks, David.
you.
Take care.
No problem. Peace.
So who's going to go first? Because guess what? We did not wind up getting any books, or at least I didn't wind up getting any books because my shop isn't getting any until, probably sometime around tomorrow.
I want Kurt
Ready?
to go first.
Kirk
No.
got a ton of stuff, but I know he ran to the bathroom.
Oh, he's busy.
I'm still here.
Oh, did you get all your stuff bagged and boarded?
I just put the last book. Well, there's one that needs to be in a bag on a board, but I can go.
Show it.
I have like 2 stacks, so like
Do it. I don't even
I'm
care.
gonna be going for like 20 minutes.
I don't care.
You're good. I got nothing, so you more than make up the time.
Okay.
Do it, old fella.
Enlarge this man.
Thank you.
Big in him.
It is
Been
all
big in
you.
me.
Enhance.
Let me stop.
Enhance.
Hello world. So a lot of these aren't in order, so
We don't judge.
yeah, sorry but not sorry.
I judge.
Oh, stop, Ace.
Ace does judge.
You tempestuous thing, you.
Time. So here's the first one, Stillwater. So a lot of it, like I'm like weeks behind in my pool.
He had
over a
like
month.
3 He had like 3 bags of books. It was awesome.
I did. Yeah. So
It's
you're gonna see
definitely-
stuff that you already saw like weeks ago, but I don't care. It's new to me. So here's Stillwater number 8. Here is Project Patreon, which I love. Thank you, Miracleman, for suggesting this. Here's issue 3, and here is issue 4. Here is Haha. I've definitely been loving this anthology. So good. The mime one is probably my favorite one so far, and the one with the old lady when she had when she was trying to make the what is that? What was that? Cauliflower cauliflower something for that kid. It was great. Here's Carmen, issue number 5. Love the art. Story's really great. Could be a little triggering, but I still love it nonetheless.
Sorry, I'm late.
Lee,
Whack
what up,
attack.
bro? Whack
How's it going?
attack. Time for a whack attack.
I got some stuff, but I want to see what Kirk's showing. Go back to Kirk.
Kirk has 7 bags of
Kurt,
comic.
you gotta take a big dump.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I have like. Let me just so
Just
people
dig
can
it.
know what they're getting into.
I love
there
it.
you go. Shoom.
I do
Shoom.
DF.
All right. Oh, that was a good workout. So I have there's Home Number, which I love. Home Number 1. I was not expecting the end of issue 1, so I can't wait to read 2. Here's 2. Here is issue number 3. And here's issue number 4. Bloop. Great story. And then here's all the Batman. Well, most of the Batman stuff that I have. Here's the Batman Detective Comics.
What exactly is this Batman?
1037.
Is he some type of man bat?
He's something like that. It's pretty crazy. He went from a billionaire to a millionaire, so he's going through it.
I hate when that happens. It happens. That's happened to like 3 friends.
I know. You know what I'm saying?
So relatable.
I had to downgrade from a Bentley to a coupe. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here
Outrageous.
is, I know. Here's the 1039 with the predator mouth right there. I know, right? And then here's Batman 109. This is really good. I've been loving this series. And then here's one.
I tapped out when Ghostmaker entered the scene. I was like, I'm done.
I like the Ghostmaker.
Ghostmaker will fuck anybody and everybody,
Yeah.
and is just a sociopathic badass. I would think that
They
you'd be
did-
loving Ghostmaker.
They did make him a little OP though. They kind of like depowered him these last couple issues. He's just like a side character now, just doing side missions for Batman.
He's part of the Bat family now.
He's a Bat
pretty
cool.
much. Oh, and then I think I showed this one already.
Yeah, cool cover though.
Okay. And then one of my favorite indies, Kanto. Love it. Shout out to the creators. They're awesome. David, I love you. Really want to get all my books signed by them. And then here's Time Before Time, issue number 3. I read issue number 1. It was amazing. I did not know Venom 200 was this thick. I'm kind of annoyed. I don't want to read all that, but I will. Here's Avengers. What is this? 46, and I guess we're getting World War She-Hulk now, so that's going to be interesting. And then I loved issue 1. Here's Locust, issue number 2. I'm always down for a good post-apocalyptic world. One of my favorite Avengers, Savage Avengers. Really good. And now we got Cosmic Ghost. Is that Cosmic Ghost Rider? There's some Ghost Rider. And then here is Spider-Man Spider's Shadow, issue number 4. The first 2 issues, really good. And then here's Thor. I guess he's fighting Captain America. I don't know what's going on there, but I guess I'll find out tonight. And then here's another one of my favorite Marvel books going on right now. Iron Man with the Alex Ross covers.
Did 10 just come out today, or
that was last week, I think?
Okay, I need to wait for that solicitation for issue 11 because Lady Fantastic has been really telling us about that Raza cover.
That's 12. That's 12.
Yeah.
And that's in this month's previews, so you can order it this month.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Gotta get them all. Here's Mighty Morphin. I've been digging a lot of the recent Power Ranger series that's been coming out. Here's number 8. And I am so happy I finally get a chance to finish the series. Maniac
of
New
fun.
York.
So
issue
fun.
number 5. I love the first 4 issues. Yeah, I read the first 4, and then I'll finish 5 tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved it.
I want more.
I know. It's a tease. I hope we get like a season 2 or something.
I think we will.
So it'll be interesting. But here's Karma number 4. Here is Ultra Mega number 4.
Nice.
I missed out on 2 recently. Well, a while back, and then I ended up getting the second print. But I'll show you guys that in a second. But I can't wait to read this. My boy, he's all broken up. It's so cute that him and that little fairy chick are dating now. It was so cute how she asked him out. Here's issue number 3 of the Spider's Shadow. Can't wait to read that one as well. I've only read issue 1 of Geiger, but I really digged it. So I got to read 2 and up and play catch up. 2 is still in my current read pile, which, as you guys can see, has gotten extremely large now. Here's Batman. What was that?
No, I was just saying Geiger's worth it. Geiger is worth it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I almost thought, I only bought it for issue 1 initially, and I was like, if it's not good, I'm not going to continue it. But I really digged it. So, but here's season 2 of Batman: The Adventure Continues. Did not know they were coming out with a season 2, so surprise. I love this series. Money Shot, issue number 12. Can't wait to read this one.
We have the creators of Money Shot on in a couple of weeks.
I know. I have to go hunt. I have to go hunt down my one of my friends because I let them borrow a bunch of the Money Shot books because it's it's a great series. Here's Daredevil issue number 31. I love you, Zdarsky. So the series has been great. Speaking of Zdarsky, crossover. He wrote this issue. I heard so many great things.
Known as Chip.
Yeah. Oh, he's missing. I just now saw that. Sorry. Here's one of my other favorite characters, the Black Knight. I love this series. The last one. I think this is the last. This is number 4. I think it's just a 4-part mini. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's one more issue.
Okay, cool. Here's number 7. We only find them when they're dead. I love this series. It's pretty good. I know for some people it's kind of like slow down. They've jumped off of it, but I'm gonna stick to it. And then here's my favorite, one of my favorite ladies, the Mighty Valkyries. Look at Loki doing his Loki thing, playing the puppeteer. And then I have been dreading reading this because we know what's gonna happen already. Well, y'all do, but I've hid from spoilers. I just know that
it sticks the landing.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yep, it sure does.
And so all these next couple books are just because I collect Scotty Young. I got them, and yeah. So here's
you should.
I know, right? What was that?
Definitely talk to Judah because I think he got. I think he needs. I think he needs some Scotty Young love.
Really? Well, here's some Scotty Scream love. Here's I'm hearing good things about this X-Men #1, so I might read this, but you know how I feel about X-Men.
Don't do it.
I know, right? I love this cover. Stop pulling.
Actually, I like that one. That's good. That was a good one.
And then this Tank Girl one is really cool.
That's cute.
Oh yeah.
And then that's all the Scotty stuff. So here's stack number 2.
Oh yeah, keep them coming.
So I love, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Kaboom different than Boom? Is that
it's
like
an imprint?
Imprint.
Okay, cool. Thank you for clearing. I was like so confused. But here's something from Kaboom. I love a shout out to Eric Larson. I love her orcs, so good. I watched an interview with her before when I read issue 1, and it made me fall in love with her series even more because she's just like a wholesome person. And so if you haven't read this, I don't know if it's in trade or not, but when it does, pick it up. So good. Another shout out to the Miracleman who got me reading Resistance. I've been loving it. it. And then another series people have been jumping on, which I'm so happy. Nottingham, been loving this series. Just finished reading issue 3 the other day, catching up on books. But here's 4 and 5.
You're one of the lucky bastards that got the first prints of the first issues for cover price because you knew better.
Honestly, I didn't even know it was gonna blow up this big. I just got it because I'm like, I saw that first cover, the first cover, and I was like, oh my gosh, that art is so awesome. And I was like, let's see what it's about. I am sad that this is over, but I'm happy that I get a chance to read it. You already know, Lee.
It's so good.
I love some Family Tree.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to read this one. This is definitely going on the top of the pile tonight. Here's some more Savage Avengers, issue number 21. Something is Killing the Children, issue number 17. So glad it's finally on my pool now. Inkblot, I love this series. I love this multi-dimensional hopping kitty cat. So funny. Here's some more Incredible Hulk, issue number 48. This is almost done. He said it ends at 50, right?
Yep.
And then here's Giga. I'm just looking at this covers. I didn't even notice it, but I love this series. So awesome.
If it would only come out regularly.
I know it's like it's always been like hella random, and I'm sad that this is ending too. Forest Sector.
Yeah,
I need to.
She appears in Green Lantern.
Yeah, I know. I need to get. My shopkeeper was telling me to get that series. I had the first two, but I need to get 3 and 4. Here's Geiger. This is 3. Yeah, issue number 3. Great cover, and sorry, I love looking. I have to show these as a pair because these are some beauties. But I finally got my copy of White.
Good Lord.
Nice.
Issue number 1. This is the Cape and Cowl Comics exclusive cover. I didn't get the cover A, but I'm just glad that I got it. It's on my pool, and it's on my pool now, so I'll get the second issue on that. And then my shop is doing another. Really?
None of us got it. Not a single one of us in any of our shops got a single copy.
Yeah, I had to buy. I bought an exclusive as well.
I thought y'all got a copy. Okay. Yeah, I definitely ought to hunt that one down. But if you don't have one at all, I'll run back to the shop and grab.
Yeah, 2,500 copies of the first print, first issue, cover A. Some shops got one, some got a handful. It was really arbitrary. And my small shop, black owned, we got 0 copies. So I hope this week
crazy.
There will be a second print. We'll see. I hope. Let's see more.
Crazy, dude.
More stuff.
Back to the comics. Here's Iron Man Annual 1. Another great Iron Man cover. I don't think Alex Ross did this one. So I don't know if Alex Ross is off or if this is just for this issue. I don't know.
He's not doing the annuals.
Oh, hey, gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. And then here's issue number 9 of Inkblot. Can't wait to read this. Every issue has just been gold. And then here's 47 of Incredible Hulk. What was that question? Hold on, bring it back up. I gotta read this shit real quick. I spent all my money on comics. My therapist says I have issues. You know, if I had a therapist, they'd probably say the same thing. But here's that second print of this is definitely going on the top of the pull list. Ultra Mega. And I need to hunt down that Jenny. What is that? Jenny Hero or whatever that's
Jenny Zero.
What's it called? Jenny Zero. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to get that because I want that. I want that first issue with the foot stomp. I got to get that. But here's Batman season 2. The Venture continues. Issue number 1. Here's been one of my. I know. I need to get that trade. The Court of Owls. I always hear so many good things, and then after that, a lot of people complain about them.
Bye, Ree.
Bye, Ree.
Bye, Ree. Jinx, you owe me a cherry coke. Here's Batman and Catwoman. One of my favorite ongoing Black Label series right now. Another book that I am proud to own, which I've heard so many great things about, and this cover is Bunny Mask.
That's so good.
Yeah, I keep hearing so many great things, so I had to get it. And I saw that cover, and I'm like, I'm getting that. I did not add this one into the Scotty Young pile. I should have, but of course I had to get the Moon Knight. So now, hold up. Now he got a best friend. Hold on.
Was this best friend?
Oh, too cute.
Got a little BFF.
I love
now.
it.
Pretty.
This one's a little bit worth more though.
Just a couple bucks.
And then what else? Oh, here's issue 2 of Time Before Time. That's definitely going on the top of the pool. I really love that series. Undiscovered Country. This issue's cool, but then where did we get superheroes? That's the only book that I didn't get a chance to bag. Look at that. They got superpowers, it looks like. So that's going to be interesting to see what's going on in 14.
Read that. In 4 issues, I dropped it.
I mean, I don't blame you, but I want to finish it. It's so good. I've been
issue
every
15.
every issue is. I don't know, but every issue has always kept me going. And then here's one of the rare X-Men books that I actually am still picking up. Wolverine, of course. And then here is love this series. Philadelphia, issue number 14. And then here's number 15. I can't wait to read this. And then here's some good old Homesick Pilots, issue number 6. And issue number 7. Love that series too. I need to read issue number 3 because it's still my pile, my current read pile. But here's Alien number, was this 4? And then this is 5.
Did you get the new issue 1?
No, I didn't know there was an issue 1. Is it Aliens?
Hold on. Yeah.
I will probably pick it up.
Here, the only comic book that I have right now, because I didn't pick anything up, this is the Aliens Aftermath number.
No, wait, I was right. God damn it. That's hella funny. There's a bunch of stuff that I need to go back and get, but I got to pay rent, so I can't go back and get that shit right now.
Geek responsibility.
Exactly. Here's Guardians 15, and I love this issue number 16 with I don't know if that's Dormammu, my boy from Strange Academies. Maybe he grew up and he's ruler now. I don't know, but it's an awesome cover. And then here, last but not least, is Noctera number 4 and number 5. I gotta reel back and reread this. I like it. I like the artwork. I'm still a little confused about what's going on. I just know that, yeah, that's my pull. That's what I got. That's what I'm
dark out, and the darkness makes people turn into vampire mutants.
Yeah, I got that part. I don't know. Is she like their blade? Does she just have the ability to understand, like to sense them? I don't know. What's the point with the mask? I don't know. Yeah,
burden personality.
I don't know. I usually can understand a story like right away. I don't usually have to reread a story, but I gotta reread that shit.
Oh, and her brother is slowly turning into one of those creatures.
Yeah. I remember the last issue I read, like his eyes open, and he had that's like the first sign of like it's over for them. It's like no going back.
Once they get rid of that character, then they can get into the real story that I'm sure they went into.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. I just don't know why they didn't why they held on to the brother and didn't make it like a memory she would always go back to or tell them. You know how they go they do how Lost would always go back and show the past of the character, and same concept.
A round cast of people, so that way when they kill them off one by one, you care about them.
Yeah.
Like an alien.
Yeah.
So who's got some more books?
Yeah.
Miracleman, would you like to go?
Sure, I can go.
Yeah.
I can handle this mission.
Let's do it.
You
can do it. I believe in you.
All right.
Tell us what really gets you, or what is it? What really grinds your gears?
You know what? You don't even get me started on that shit. So I'm just going to show books. Actually, you know what? Anybody who has anything to say about Leah Moore, come see me at Twitter, and I will crush your soul. If you've got anything negative to say about Leah Moore. That's Alan's daughter. For those of the people who know what I'm talking about, you'll understand why. So first things first here, let me show you. I got a Kickstarter from my good friend Chloe Handler. This was the complete Astonishing Gators from her publishing house, Debate Me Comics.
Oh, that's too cool, man.
And I listen, there's some pull quotes on the back. You should buy this book for nothing more than just the pull quotes. Those by themselves are hilarious. Look at that. The quarter inch.
Too old for my taste.
We know who that is. That was Slick Jimmy. Anyway, they're all tongue in cheek. None of them are real, but they are. So many of them are based on actual comic skaters, and that was phenomenal. I'm sure you can tell who that's supposed to be. All right.
Oh, that is hilarious.
We got a couple of books that came out this week and a couple of books that came out last week that I picked up this week. So first things first, here we have Undiscovered Country number 14. This is their first appearance of superheroes in this story. And I want to point out that some of these superheroes may actually be the intellectual properties of Archie Comics, because there's the Fox and there's the Web, both of which are Archie characters, but are very much in this story.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. If Archie catches on, they're definitely their IP. Here we have Skybound X, number 3, continuation of the Rick Grimes 2000 story from Walking Dead number 75.
This is crazy.
This also has... Sorry, go ahead. What were you say, Lee?
I was going to say, how was that one with the Murder Falcon story and Science Dog?
Yes, the Murder Falcon story. First new Murder Falcon story in 2 years. It's Daniel Warren Johnson. How do you not love it? You know what I mean?
I was thinking about picking that up.
Yeah, dude. I don't understand. I was saying about this over on IFLC. I don't know how more people aren't talking about this book.
Yeah, no. When you were talking about it, I was like, damn, how did I pass that shit up?
No Ghosts in Hiroshima from Scout Comics. Guys, look who wrote this.
Jim Kruger.
Who that?
He's a guy who wrote a thing with some stuff.
Oh,
okay.
It's pretty awesome.
He did Justice with Alex Ross. He did Project Superpowers with Alex Ross.
What would I know?
Nothing. You would know nothing
Cape
about
shit.
it.
Okay. Cape shit.
Cape shit. Moon Knight number 1. Badass cover. McNiven cover. This came out a little while ago, but my store got shorted. Here's Crime Syndicate number 5. These are the villains of the DC universe on Earth 3, so they're actually all the heroes. It's fucking badass. Here we have from the Mighty Layman, Bermuda number 1. That came out today. It's Bradshaw's artwork. It's fucking gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous. And you hear a lot of chuds complain about no sexy in comic anymore. Me no like. Well, they obviously don't read comics, because here we have AC Comics Super Babes number 7.
Boobies.
It's FemForce.
Scarlet Witch looks like the Scarlet Witch.
I'll explain more about that.
Comeback.
Her name is She-Cat, right? Her name is She-Cat. Green Lantern number 4.
Oh my god, I need to get that. Yes.
Rorschach number 10.
I'm buying it in trade.
I finally got my FF Life Story number 2.
love it. I've got that same one, brother.
Great cover. Flashpoint number 6.
Which, holy shit, in the last issue, they bring back a character we all thought was dead.
In Flashpoint?
Yeah.
No, in the... Oh.
In that. In the... In this.
0
in
Point.
0
Yeah,
Point.
0 Point.
They bring back the Batman Who Laughs.
Yes, they
no!
do. They do.
Why?
Yes.
I thought it was destroyed.
They do bring
I
him
thought it
back.
was destroyed.
He was. He's back. It's comics, bro.
Oh,
Here we have the latest
I
issue
know,
of Tarot.
I
It's number
know.
128. Jim Balance artwork. Just man knows how to draw buxom women. Dude, this came out today from Black Caravan, which is a Scout Comics imprint. Gods of Brutality.
Oh yeah, I saw
Fucking
you showing
dope.
that off.
That book was great. It's got.
Is that Thor? Is that Thor?
It's Thor, and here's Hercules, and
That's
their
hella
fathers
clean.
kick them out of the heavens to go save this guy from hell, who happens to be the lead singer of a heavy metal band in the 90s.
That is hella funny. I have to get that.
Get it? Yeah, it's gonna be I don't know if it's a mini or an ongoing.
Glorious mission.
They have covers for 2, 3, and 4 in the back. Justice League Last Ride number 3, Derek Robertson cover. As I was saying, this is a Zdarsky writing the Justice League.
What?
Justice League Last Ride. It's a mini series. It's outside continuity. It's supposed to be in the future. Okay. Really recommend it.
I never thought I would see Zdarsky with DC. That's interesting.
Yeah. They have to. It involves the Owens, the Green Lantern Corps, Lobo, and the United Planets, as well as Apocalypse and Darkseid. How would you not want to read this?
Holy shit, that's some facts, Ace.
Blue and Gold #1. This is the B cover.
I want to get that one. I had I
loved it.
The dynamic duo.
I loved it. It was so awesome. Here we have Avengers #46. Beta Ray Bill #4.
Oh man.
Mortal Hulk 48. Thor 15. And listen, I had to get this. I had to get this. I don't know.
We're still ongoing.
Yeah.
They just released the annual today.
I bought a Dynamite book, guys.
I saw that at my LCS.
Brian Boland cover on Barbarella.
That issue 2? No.
That's #1.
I didn't know he was still doing covers.
Yeah, me neither. Beyond the Breach #1. This was badass. I loved it. Dark Blood #1. Another book that was just absolutely incredible.
From the writers of Walking Dead.
Yeah. The TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the same art as Philadelphia? Almost looks like it.
It's not quite as scratchy and dark. Jupiter's Legacy Requiem #2. Made in Korea #2. Noctera #5. Savage Hearts #1. This is another Aubrey Sitterson book, who is also doing Worst Dudes. There's #2. This came out today, and I have not heard anybody talking about it. Siphon #1 from Top Cow.
I saw that at my LCS.
Yeah, that's a doctor
I didn't see that
siphons
one.
out the pain of others, and then some weird shadowy government entity wants to use his talents for other means.
It was good. I also picked up the second printing of Cherry Blackbird, because why not? Badass cover. And then I got a very small, modest pile of back issues here. It's modest. I assure you, kids. Let me get all this shit out the way.
50 or less.
No, it's like maybe 10. No, it's probably
Because
like
he pulls his back lifting it.
It's probably like 20. That's a lie. It's probably like 20. From the Max series, Terror Inc. #1. 2. Real tough to find. And 3. This is David Latham and Patrick Zurcher. Thunderbolts Breaking Point one shot. Christos Gage.
Oh, too cool, man.
Oh, dude, this one. I was so happy to find this.
Yeah, that's tough.
This is from Tom Scioli. Godland. It's Jack fucking Kirby being done by a modern creator. That's all I got to say. Take everything Jack Kirby and put it all in one book. Everything. I mean, everything. Everything he's ever done. Put it in one book.
Everything.
Here we have a Moon Knight #11 from Volume 5.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Cool.
Very nice.
Houston run.
That's
Incredible
awesome.
Hulk 605. Here's the 65th anniversary of Captain America. Actually, this was not on the bag. It's actually on the book. I have to get that off. Here's a Captain America 616. There's the 70th anniversary, 65th anniversary.
Is there a 69th anniversary?
Ah, God, I wish. I'm a big fan of Darwin Cook, and when I find a book with his art, it comes home with me. Here we have the Spirit #1.
I love that book.
And here's #6.
I see that cover all the time.
I have the whole
That's
series.
such a
It's
great
definitely worth it to pick it up reading, but it starts right around issue 8 or 9 or so. They start having fill-in writers, and he will keep writing it every now and then, but I have the whole run, and it just peters out towards the end.
Last but not least, here we have Night of the Living
Oh,
Dead.
wow.
That's
I
#1.
love that cover. I love it.
How much did you get that for?
A million cents.
I'm trying to remember. Night of the Living Dead #1. Oh, $10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Worth it.
That's
Well
awesome.
done. Well played.
I have issue 2 and 4. Now I only need number 3.
You.
I also have the Aftermath and the Prelude. Those are even harder to find.
Well played.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's it. That's all I got.
Holy moly
That's
mackerel.
all
Quick,
he
right?
wrote.
Quick, right?
Yeah.
Super duper fast.
Hashtag fast.
Whack Ace.
Go Ace.
I'm not ready right now.
Mr. Wackety Whack Wackley.
I'm always ready.
Yeah, good.
Let's reach you out here and throw you up on the
Come
street.
back.
So I haven't got it much. They're kind of new, but I thought we were doing more of a show on now. Some of our top books. I've got some top books to show and some newer books to show at the same time. Okay. So first up, I got Berserker. That's the B cover. Really been enjoying that series. So I got another one here. I've seen a lot of people talk about the A cover and saying they like the A cover more, but I reckon this B cover is the way to go, if you ask me.
Yeah, I dig it. The B cover's cooler. Yeah. I also concur.
And this one, I like this one. Matt Kint's one of my favorite writers.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, Matt Kint's pretty cool. I've got almost everything that he's written. And him teaming up with Keanu Reeves is pretty cool. So I've just got a couple of issues of that, but not too many.
How
wow,
old
this is one,
do you know?
One more here. And then this one here this one's pretty interesting. This is the first time Keanu Reeves has ever written a comic book. This one. Pretty interesting. Keanu Reeves. I didn't think Keanu Reeves would write a comic book. And you know what? I don't think he could have written it without Matt Kint, because Matt Kint is the one that's really bringing the story to this series, I dare say. But here's one more issue of it. And then we'll get on to something different. This is Berserker by Keanu Reeves and Matt Kint. I just got one more issue of this. This is the B cover. And you know, like I said, I do like the B cover, but the A cover is just as good. Okay, so I've got some A covers as well. Just 2 A covers though, because I think if you get more than 2 of the same cover, it's pushing it. If you get more of the more than 2 of the same colors, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I've got something a little different to show now.
There's some like cognitive dissonance between your words and your behavior.
This is Berserker by Matt Kint. This is the A cover, and this is the A cover here for Berserker by Keanu Reeves and Matt Kint.
Oh.
And this is Berserk as well.
Who's about it?
Yeah, who wrote that one? Oh man,
that's hard, man.
I don't know. Is that a banger?
Don't do it.
This one could be.
Oh
my god!
Check out the art, man.
Not sorry.
Warning. Banger alert. Oh, look at the little kitty. And he's playing with the tiny little chick. Wait, you're here for comic books, you dumb asshole! It puts the lotion in the basket. It puts the lotion in the basket.
I love it.
I do like the B cover as well, so I had to pick up a B cover.
Oh.
I didn't know there was a Berserker cover with all the vowels in it. I just got a B cover. You know what's pretty cool about the B cover though is there's some characters on it that aren't on the A cover, so this could be classed as a first appearance, first cover appearance.
I'm concerned, Lee, because I'm not sure you got enough.
You don't think so?
I was thinking the same thing. Isn't that weird? Synchronicity. I thought I was thinking the same thing.
I could get a couple more.
I
think you probably.
I think you grossly undershot the mark on this. So
yeah.
If you really care about comics, everyone knows you get at least a case worth of covers.
Yeah, that's
So
jokes aside. That's enough Berserk. I really don't have any more Berserk. This one's a little bit different.
I'm getting worried that they might find their way into a basket. They might find its way on fire.
What? That's outrageous. How could you accuse that? That was violent, almost, Rob.
Yeah,
that's just.
I'm sitting on a gold mine here. By the way, there's going to be a Netflix series of this. Haven't you heard? So
and an anime, right?
And an animated one. So you could say that I'm slightly specking on the series. Just a little.
I just want to see the person's arms and legs getting ripped off and beating people with a leg. It was an extreme
punching someone through the chest and they explode and
punching a jaw right off.
No, when he punched that guy through the head, that was pretty like OP.
Oh yeah. But
all right.
Zan, bro.
Oh, you want me to get, or are you still showing more there?
I'll show you two more. Just
okay.
This one
and that another one maybe.
This and then I'm done. I think I'll be done after that.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
No more for me to show.
I think
Miracleman would only bought 19.
You're chilling with our emotions.
There's absolutely no more.
Since Ace is not on, I'm gonna just show mine.
Do it.
Some of these, so I got in new Mylar today. So some of these are just things that I wanted to rebag and I just kind of want to show off. And some are new buys. New buys. Yeah, so I have 20 books exactly. Move this green thing. Thank you. I got Midnight.
Oh, that's a great cover.
Gorgeous.
I love it.
Zerafino.
Did David Finch do any variant? Any of the variants?
He did.
I'm so dumb.
I need to grab that.
The Thor annual, number 1.
Wait, when did that come out?
Today.
I didn't get that. Oh,
and this is a variant cover.
I didn't get that.
I assure you, this has nothing to do with the main storyline. This is all Infinite Destiny stuff.
Captain Marvel 30, Peach, Guardians of the Galaxy 16, Groot.
Oh, that's a great variant, yeah.
I know, I really liked it. I thought it was quite nice.
That's awesome.
Layla Star 4, Mini Layla Star. Yeah, so I have the shinies of issues 1 through 3. So I was really
shiny.
I know. Mothers of Madness or Mother of Madness.
Got it.
Number 1.
How was it?
The Jim Bartel B cover. So
have you read it?
No, I haven't.
Did you read it? I definitely want to read it.
I looked through it just a little bit, but I didn't read it
aggressively.
This came in the mail today.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting closer and closer to completing this run. Yeah, I know. Spider-Man number 12. And then this also came in the mail today. Black Panther 14.
Oh,
that's the issue.
Yes.
This is the first cover issue that Bill Sienkiewicz did at Marvel Comics.
That's so
Black
cool.
Panther 14. So, it's just a little kind of treasure. I also have John Carter, Warlord of Mars, number 18. Is the first time Frank Miller does art
Yeah.
with Marvel. So it's these little nugget things, but whatever. And this is just a rebag because I wanted to rebag some stuff in this Mylar that I just got. Champions, I share that cover. I love it. This one, it's fun because it's a newsstand, and it's man, this is an epic classic cover.
I love that. Yeah, I have like two of those
Volume
covers.
2, issue 24, X-Men. And then this series of variants, I really, really love. And so I'm going to show them to you, but it's I guess it's maybe X-Men Evolution. I don't fucking know. This is Havoc right here. But it's Journey into Mystery 623. But clearly you can see it's Havoc, right?
Very
Well,
havoc.
yes, very havocy.
Yeah. But then this is Hulk 33, but another one of those. But this is Emma Frost.
Sweet.
Queen. Yeah. And then the best one, a fellow Aussie of Lee's, is Mr. Yarden, who did the Evolution of Storm.
Yarden's so cool.
I love it.
I know.
I've got a couple of Yarden prints hanging up in my hallway. He's a really cool guy.
Oh, it's Thor! It's Thor Storm.
Yeah. And then I also rebagged and bought this Civil War 2. Number 2, Cho. So we have Medusa. I don't know. It's some SDCC variant, but I love that. And then this was getting pretty. This is getting pretty big here, and I've had it forever just because I love this Brubaker run. But Books of Doom, and this just talks about the Books of Von Doom. Read so issues 1, the 6-issue series.
God damn, you got the whole thing.
It's really great. I love the way that they write the past
awesome.
or whatever.
I didn't even know this existed until last week.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
I've had this for years because it was one of the things that really honestly got me into Brubaker.
Dang, that cover, that's the best one you've shown.
Just you wait.
Dang.
Yeah,
Did you read the current Doom run? Oh, so good.
And then that's 6 of 6. So, yeah, that's my chunk.
Chonkity chunk.
Nice chunk. Nice
Thank
chunk.
So one more person left.
Please don't
Ace.
call me a person.
Are you a
One
place or
more
thing?
non-person left.
Thank you.
One more kitty cat left. Hey, kitty. You're up.
Meow.
Wow. Got Alice in Leatherland, number 4. Then
It's a great cover.
it is. Got Deja Thoris versus some dude. Who cares? It's a man. Y'all are gonna be extremely shocked by this, but it's Memorial Day week, so got a couple covers.
Oh, issue 5 came out today?
Yeah.
Oh, I better get that cover.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh my god, I got the version cover for this on eBay for $11.50. And it was a 1 in 30 variant, and that makes me happy. Oh,
yeah.
It's been so good.
Issue 1 blew me away.
Many deaths of Layla Starr. See a pretty lady beating up a Nazi,
How do you not love that?
right?
And tied up at that.
Yeah. Wait, no. Can't like that.
Twinsies.
Yeah. They had like
Did you read it already? Yeah, I was gonna
I
ask.
haven't read anything today, except for reading
Me either.
for the third time.
You have to let me know what you think of it, because I've heard only one person read it and they said that it was trash. So I want to hear something
Well,
else.
that person's trash. So
I'll wait till I read it to make up my own mind.
okay, Proctor Valley Road #5. This is the last one for this arc. Maybe the series. I don't know what they're planning to do with it.
I hope it continues.
In case anybody has Z-Zare pronouns, there is a character in Save Yourself from Whom that has Z-Zare pronouns. So get your representation, bitches. Shadecraft. Charts.
The cover looks awesome.
It does. I got the trade for it, and I was just like, but I'm gonna give that a shot. Starting to get Wasted Space from Vault because I am their whore. Got the second print of White. I had the original fucking print in my box, and then life happened, and then this came in.
Ooh.
Cool. And that is all that I have.
So that's everything?
Yeah.
At least until I wind up pulling some books tomorrow, and perhaps, if Lady Fantastic is willing, I can show some books, and perhaps maybe I'll even pick up a couple back issues.
Word.
But that's been our show. So tomorrow night, I know for a fact that Ace has on Brags and Boards. You're doing something on Sandman.
Yes, we're doing the second volume, which is issues 9 through 14. I spent 17 hours this past week working on it, so you better fucking watch it.
They've been texting me about it, and there's an annotated, and they have read it, and it's going to be thorough tomorrow, so do check that out.
Yeah.
Comics on the Mind, do you have any show coming up over on Gorilla Todd's tomorrow?
You're muted.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, yeah, we're definitely gonna have a show tomorrow. I know we didn't have a show last week. That was my fault. But we definitely have a show this week. Check it out. Same. There it is. All that information right there. Lovable, huggable, teddy bear baby. Yeah. But, if you're up late. If you're on the East Coast and you're up at 12, you can come check us out. If you're in Cali and it's 9 o'clock and you're up and you want to watch us, hey, by all means. But yeah, we'll just be shooting the shit tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And down at the bottom, I'm running episode 100 of Fuck, Marry, Kill. I'm sorry, episode 100 of Not Near Mint. Doing Fuck, Marry, Kill. Next week, next Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing a short interview beforehand, and then we're going to get right into the game. Otherwise, Whack, anything coming up on your channel?
Just the normal daily Whack shit. We've got it all day, every day.
With Daddy Toy Chest.
Yep,
you didn't even sing it right. God damn it, Rob.
You got in trouble.
Chest. Thank you.
Lady, anything coming up on your channel? Any auctions or?
I'm just going about aimlessly.
Like
That's
life. Not going to get any weird dark side shit here. Over at Miracleman? Anything going on over at your grinding your goddamn gears?
No, but come on by the Twitters and we'll grind some gears together.
Oh, shit.
Fuck yeah. This is the Not Near Mint crew. We will be back next Wednesday. That will be our 100th episode. Also, do check out my the comic shop that I go to. In fact, if you're in the Miami area, I'll be around there tomorrow when he opens, which is usually around 2 p.m.-ish. So it's Miami Fresh Comics. That is on Instagram. He does a claim and auction at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's where I get my books, folks. So if you see the stuff behind me, it's not like it's that hard to get. So we will see you next week. We love y'all. Good night. Bye.
Love y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Rule number 1, don't die. Black Lives Matter, trans rights, and Helen motherfucking Mirren.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Rob Wurst, Lady Fantastic, Miracleman, and Comics on the Mind will be back next week. Same time, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Not Near Mint.